I found a 250cc dirt bike that looks an awful lot like a $12,000 KTM for only $1,200 on Walmart.com. It looked good, inverted forks, real suspension linkage, and it seemed like it was too good to be true, but also too good of a deal to pass up. Curiosity got the best of me, so I clicked buy now. And just a few days later, it showed up in my driveway. I have bought a lot of cheap Chinese products on this channel, and how it's packaged is normally a pretty big reflection of the quality of the machine. And this one is completely ahead of the Alibaba bike. No loose bolts flying out the bottom of the box. Everything is zip tied and well strapped together. We might have a winner on our hands.
First impressions are not bad. Looks strong. Doesn't look obscenely heavy. Decent pegs. Passenger pegs. That's funny. The brakes will be fine. Looks like I can even make it road legal.
A big storm was rolling in, so I threw on the front wheel as quick as possible so I could roll it into the garage and keep working. This bike was jam-packed with a bunch of features I wasn't expecting. Nice grips, electric start, a digital display that shows you what gear you're in, your RPM, your speed, and the total miles on the bike. And it even came with paperwork to make it road legal, which I'll do in a future episode, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel to see that process. But all the blinker wiring and headlights did mean I had to bust out the instruction manual to figure out how to get this thing properly working. And normally when brands do this, they turn off advertising, so when you're rewinding the video, you don't keep getting the same ad again when you're trying to figure out how to set up your machine. But this company just let those ads run. Just in case you end up building one of these things, you really do need to put the bolt with the flat back in first on this part of the triangle so that the linkage can clear it. If you do this one first, you can't get that bolt tight. Everything else was pretty straightforward. I just hooked up the battery, bolted on the plastics, which are actually pretty stable on here, and even though it is an air-cooled bike, it still has that KTM scoop that would be intended to scoop the air into your radiator, which obviously this bike doesn't have, but it looks cool, and I'm okay with that. Now that we have the world's cheapest 250 all put together, it's time to fuel up and hit the trails. Because obviously what's most important here is what it feels like to ride. And I'm about to show you guys something that blew my mind and changed my pocketbook forever. See that fuel price right there? $3.59 for regular? If I open up Upside here, you can see it's gonna load the best deals in my area, and we are going to claim the gas. It's gonna save me 48 cents a gallon because Upside is totally free to use and they are the first sponsor of this channel. So I'm gonna fill up the bike and the truck because using Upside could not be easier. You just pay for your gas like you normally would, claim the offer in the app, and then sometime after, usually a day or so, you get the cash back in your account balance. And in the near future, this will happen instantly. And it also works at restaurants and grocery stores. Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month, so to find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code EDWIN to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas, or scan the QR code to claim this offer. It took me a second to figure this out, but this bike only starts if you're holding in the front brake, even if you're doing the kickstart, which I've got to find a way to disable that feature. Oh, there's 5! Let's go! Nice! If you've seen my videos before, you know I like to test bikes on the mountain. So we're about to hit some rough trails, see how the suspension feels, and since this bike tracks our miles, we are going to see the economy. And then we're gonna take it on a proper track and properly put this thing to the test later in the video.
It's not a fast bike, but maybe it can get it. Oh man, that exhaust just sounds so bad. Oh, definitely gotta get a muffler for this thing. Holy smokes. But man, the actual geometry of the bike, the amount of rake it has, feels pretty good. Everything looks dry. None of my bolts look too loose. What kind of fuel mileage does this bike get? Pretty dang great. 60% of a gallon, 31 miles. So that means this little bike got 51.6 miles per gallon with low tire pressure on that kind of steep terrain going fast. And since the tank holds 9.8 gallons, I think the range on this bike doing the type of riding we were just doing is 92 miles, which means as a commuter, it'll definitely go over 100 miles. But now we have the basics out of the way, it's time to really push this thing hard, do the enduro track at Ethan's, and see if it stays in one piece. Very gentle throttle ramp. This is gonna be so funny, testing out the cheapest bike currently made right next to the most expensive bike currently made.
The most powerful?
Yeah. Weird. In this new environment, it didn't take me long to realize that the balance of the bike was very biased towards the front. The rear was really loose and playful, and it was hard to pop the front end up. Suspension feels good, but man, is she slow. The suspension is so much better than any other bike I've ridden this cheap. Yep, even fully clearing the tabletop to flat, I didn't bottom it out. And I haven't even adjusted the preload in the rear yet. Empty can. All right. For this type of riding, I felt like first gear was a little too low and second gear was a little too high, so I was constantly shifting in between the two to go this speed. Let the hill climb jump. See some climb in third. Let's see if we can keep up with the start. Woo! Man, I wish first was a little taller or second was a little lower. This one's a hard one. First try. Let's really hope this goes better than my last time doing this. Oh. Well, that was a relief, but I heard a clicking sound, so I stopped, and it looks like my tail light had come completely out. I don't know if this is because I was supposed to tighten it, or if the vibrations just shook those nuts right off, but that's an easy fix. The real problem is these thin steel wheels bent. Not so bad where the tire's gonna fall off, but still something that wouldn't happen with a higher quality wheel. I didn't know he was turning. Oh yeah. bottomed out the front forks, bogged out second. I'm just glad I didn't run into Ethan.
This thing is absolutely ridiculous. I'm still only in power mode 4.
Really?
It is wild.
Out of how many?
5.
Okay.
Still, there's just nowhere here to use this kind of power. Not even in mode 4. Like, you can't even,
It goes 100 miles an hour.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's like 0 to 60 is around supercar strength.
Wow.
Like I tried launching it on the street, wheeling and burning out all the way over the bars, dude, and it's just like so fast, bro.
Wow, it'd make a sick supermoto. I'll give it a go.
So start on 2.
So yeah,
Okay.
it'll automatically goes into neutral if you're stopped for a minute.
Mhm.
I don't know how long, and then that's 1, and then once you're in, then yeah, there's power mode 2.
Okay. Cool. Anything else weird about it?
Number 2 is at 40 horse, I think.
Okay.
So that's half power.
Yeah, it feels about like a 450-ish,
Okay.
except you just have more range of power, so it's like a 450 and
Oh, that carbon fiber is beautiful. 2 out of 5? Wow. That's really something. Man, it feels good. Holy smokes. You need to hold in the front brake when you start it.
oh,
Isn't that weird?
I would never have figured that out.
Yeah, no, it took me like 10 minutes. I had to go on YouTube. This thing is insane. Even on power mode 2, that's like the fastest I've accelerated on a bike.
It's ridiculous.
It's
Wow.
hard, dude.
It's like the power of a 450, but you never have to shift.
It's the peak power of 450 on all RPM.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
It's so fast, it's drying out my contact lenses.
Inside your goggles.
Yeah. Holy smokes. I got at least tried number 5. Okay. Oh! Ha, ha. Good thing the brakes are good. Holy smokes.
I think that's awesome bike for that price, dude.
'Cause
No
I've-
question.
I've done a lot of like,
They probably took a lot of the Honda design stuff and put it in there, like from the XRs or whatever.
yeah,
you
just
know?
copied it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just buy those Excel rims. That's gonna be a great bike, dude.
Yeah.
You don't even need to buy them, just go take them out of the scrap pile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you have the same size, right?
18 and 21 with,
Is that 21 up front?
yeah.
And these are definitely bouncing around like crazy on the trails.
There you go. It's a Honda CRF 450 wheel, and it's a 19, but
Let's see. Turn it around. Yeah, get it lined out there.
I mean, the main question is going to be bearing diameter. Brake diameter is probably pretty close.
Yeah.
I think the brake diameter is pretty close.
Looks like you're missing the, oh no, that is the bushing.
Yeah.
After some discussion, it seemed like a wheel from another bike isn't just going to bolt on, but I did want to adjust the preload and see how much this thing weighs. Nice. I'm gonna pop off these passenger pegs. I can reach it way better, and I don't want them anyways. Oh, that bolt also holds on the back of the frame. I think it's so funny that it came with passenger pegs and says no passengers on
I know,
it.
it's freaking hilarious. Wow, it's front heavy.
Yeah. Sweet. 258.
Good lord! 260 pounds for a 250? That is heavy!
With a $1,200 price tag and $400 for shipping, do I think this bike is worth a $1,600 investment? Well, yeah. I still think you're probably better off buying something like a used Honda, I think that you're going to end up having a lot of wear and tear and harder to replace parts, especially with quality parts on this bike. I think it's just a fun little bike for a trash around bike. Maybe you have friends that come over and they don't have their own bike, or maybe you're looking for a super affordable commuter or just another bike to add to the fleet to have a different experience. This bike is the epitome of it's more fun to drive a slow thing fast than a fast thing slow, and it seems like it will hold up to some abuse, but probably not up to a very hardcore, serious rider. But I'm going to keep upgrading this bike, getting every inch of performance out of it I can, and get it road legal to see how it does on the street and to see how many miles it can hold up. So subscribe to see these updates, and I'll see you next time.
You should pop ahead in front of me. They're definitely faster. Oh, she didn't have the beans. Oh. Man, I bogged out in second gear last time on here. You think I'd learn?